This podcast is brought to you by the Ultimate Lettering Quiz. Find out just how much you really know about letters by taking the quiz for free on martinaflor.com/quiz. Enjoy! Hello, I hope you're having a great week. I am recording a very short episode just to share with you an experience that I had this week that I think could, in a way, inspire you to take action or to show you how important it is to take action, how often we stand on the way of doing things or creating things just because we overthink or we want to have everything perfect before we actually take action. And this week I had this one experience where I thought like, hey, this was relatively easy. And I was overthinking about the whole thing. The thing is that, you know, as I've been telling you in previous episodes, I am working on a book. And in a way, I am telling you about this project that I'm working on because I want you to keep me accountable, right? The more I share the fact that I'm writing on the I'm working on the book, I expect people to ask me about the book, and this also to keep me motivated along the way because I feel that, you know, someone is waiting for this book to happen, right? Now, as I write the book, I'm also starting to think like, okay, how do I bring this book to life? How do I bring this book onto the hands of people, onto your hands, onto the hands of the students I work with? In the past, with my previous two books, The Golden Secrets of Lettering and The Big Leap, I work with the publisher, right? And these books were translated in several different languages. So working with the publisher was really great in terms of, you know, spreading the voice and being able to have this book translated in so many languages that it will get to people no matter what language they spoke, right? So, and now I'm starting to think, and when I published those books, it was me talking to the publishers directly and like pitching the books to them directly. And I remember that for the first book, The Golden Secrets of Lettering, I met the publisher of the book, which was initially a German publisher. I met the editor of this publishing house at a conference, and you know, someone introduced me to him, and in 2 minutes I pitched my idea for that book, right? And after that, you know, that 10-minute conversation, he invited me to have a meeting, and yeah, and the rest is history. So that book was published initially in German, and then it was translated into 6 other languages. So that was crazy, right? And it was so, everything just, you know, it all started with that one pitch, that one thing. Now, as I move, you know, as I'm working on this book of mine, this third book of mine, essentially, I'm thinking of, you know, how can I partner with someone who would help me get on the hands or get to these publishers, right? Someone that will stand between the publisher and me, who perhaps will negotiate the terms with more knowledge and will also get me a better deal, right? And I've seen many of my peers and other artists working with agents, and I'm starting to think, okay, what if I get an agent myself, right? So because I have all this thinking, or I've been doing all this thinking, I've been also researching on my own. I have been just going on Twitter and, you know, using the hashtag literally agent to find agents that I could partner with. I have been just Googling different agencies, and it's really hard to, or I wouldn't say it's really hard, but it seems that the filters are really big, right? Because you normally go on to the website of a publisher, or sorry, of an agency, and they because they are used to get so many submissions from writers or artists who want to publish their books, then they have a submissions page. And in this page, they have, all the terms, all the things that they need to get from you. When are the deadlines? And they all have different terms and all different deadlines. So it starts to feel really overwhelming to actually get to the point where you can speak to an agent, pitch your idea, tell them about the work you do, tell them about your platform, your audience, just in a normal conversation. So at the end, it often, whenever I start this process, I often end up thinking like, well, I better do it myself. I just better go and speak with every single publisher myself. And yes, and over and over again, I find myself saying like, no, Martina, you have to figure this out. You have to make your way through, moving on to the next level. Of like having someone negotiating the terms for you. Or this is what I hear, that is much more comfortable to have one literary agent just pitching your book to different publishers, getting you a better deal, better conditions, marketing you in a better way, right? And saving you all of that work that has to do with, publishing the book. If one thing I can say is that writing a book is hard enough. Writing a book is very challenging. In my previous books, I wrote the book, I designed the book, I even illustrated the book myself, and that was such a stretch. I'm so proud of those projects, but at the same time, it was so time consuming, and I feel that perhaps at this stage of my career, I can find a more efficient way to do the same thing and perhaps have a bigger impact on people with my work and get my book onto more hands or onto the right publishers. Not to say that the previous publishers were not good. They were great, actually, and I really appreciate the fact that they publish my books, but I'm just wondering if there's a simpler way to do this, right? So this is a little bit like the backstory of what I've been working on and what I've been thinking about. And the thing is that this week, I just had, after going through this process of like researching on my own, taking notes, having an Excel sheet with all the people that I want to contact and all the possible agents that I could partner with and stuff. This week, I had like an aha moment where I said, wait, I know a few artists that have literary agents. I have interviewed many of them on this podcast. And I could just ask them who these people are, if they can put me in contact with them, and I would take it from there, right? And this is exactly what I did. Is I sent 3 emails to three guests that I had previously on this podcast, and people that I also know personally, artists that are published authors that I know personally. And I asked them, like, hey, this is what is going on. I am working on this book, and I am thinking whether it would be for me the right thing to do to get a literary agent to help me promote and find possible publishers for this book. Now, I'm a bit lost. I was really honest in the email. It was really short, but I told them, I am a bit lost. I don't know where to start. And you are one artist that I know that has published amazing books. And I wonder if you know someone that you can connect me with. And this is the important thing, is I wasn't only open and honest about what I was struggling with, but also I was offering something in return. I told them, if the book gets published, I promise I will send you a copy to your address and tons of good vibes. So, and two of the artists reply like 2 hours after, right? They replied right away, and they connected me with, they gave me contacts. One of them connected me directly. No, sorry, three of the artists. I contacted 4 artists, and 3 of the artists replied to me. One of them just sent an email to the literary agent with me in CC. And the literary agent replied right away and said, like, hey, Martina, I love your book. You know, your previous book, The Golden Secrets of Lettering, is a beautiful book. Tell me about your new project. It seems like it's a good fit for the work that I do, or the kind of projects that I promote. So this is the current stage. I haven't answered to that email yet, because this was yesterday. This really, literally everything happened yesterday. But I just wanted to quickly jump in and tell you a little bit about this experience, because sometimes we try to get everything right and we try to kind of figure everything out on our own. And sometimes it's a lot about reaching out to people around us, or taking that one simple action that will, get the wheel spinning, right? And because I think that the great learning of this is that this was the actual easiest thing for me to do. This was just connecting back again with the people I had already connected in the past and ask them for help, And I think something essential about that is that if you ever want to implement this in your own life, is that I was stating the problem. I was being vulnerable and honest about my struggles, which I believe created some empathy in them. And I was also offering something in return, right? I was offering something in return to them, right? So I was stating the problem. I was being vulnerable so that I could create that empathy that will make them say, like, and I was offering something in return, which was like, hey, yes, I can definitely help you, Here it is. I connect you with my agent, and hopefully this will lead to something. But I feel that it already gave me a lot of information. It already made something that felt really overwhelming super easy. And I'm already, I'm already excited. I can already get started. I already have someone who is waiting for that book proposal, and that, will get the things rolling. So I hope this inspires you to, whatever is that thing that you're struggling with, or that thing that you are not taking action on. I hope this one podcast episode will inspire you to just take action, to just get it rolling, because this is where you get most of the information. This is where you get that feedback that will inform your next steps. So have a wonderful week, and see you on the next episode of Open Studio. Bye-bye. So this is it. I hope you loved this episode. You can find me, the host of the show, on social networks at Martina Flor on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you have a question or comments, go to martinaflor.com/podcast, where you can see previous episodes, find show notes, and send voice memos with your comments and questions. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube. Just go to martinaflor.com/YouTube to find them. You can, of course, listen to all our episodes on your favorite podcast platform. If you loved this episode, subscribe to this podcast. And if you leave us a review, it will help others find us. Thank you all for listening, and see you in the next episode of Martina Flor's Open Studio. Bye-bye.